items that are part of our roadmap. So want to share that here before we get going into our presentation today as well. So with that, the topic of the day, AI in asset management. So as Larissa mentioned, Ryan Jones, Global Product Marketing Manager for SAP's Intelligent Asset Management and Field Service portfolio. Over the past decade, I've worked across EAM, APM, and FSM from solution consulting to solution management. And I can honestly say that there's never been a more exciting time to be part of the SAP ecosystem. It's no secret that technology is evolving faster than ever. And I'm very excited to show you how SAP's asset management solutions are continuously innovating to help our customers solve their toughest operational challenges. So before we dive deeper, I would like to address a common misconception that we're often hearing. And that is that AI is going to replace all people. In asset management, AI isn't about replacing people, it's really amplifying them. And there are statistics to back that. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, job openings in installation, maintenance, and repair occupations are expected to grow by over 580,000 every year between now and 2032 in the US alone. So with a global shortage of skilled technicians, baby boomers approaching retirement, AI can really become this force multiplier that helps workers achieve more, faster, and safer. And from a CIO perspective, according to a study surveying at 78 CIOs, the real business value of AI comes in three primary ways. The first is in boosting employee productivity. Second, enhancing the customer experience. And third, driving digital transformation. And in 2025, the technology is now here to capitalize on this aspired business value. So let's take a closer look. When we talk about innovation, it's important to remember not everything is about AI. Our mission for asset management is simple, that is to help the world's assets run better. However, the way we do it has evolved dramatically. Moreover, innovation means different things for different organizations. Some are focused on capturing reliable data and integrating end-to-end business processes. Others have been using AI for years. Some are already working on AI agents. Our platform gives you the toolkit to innovate at your own pace. So if we look at this diagram on the slide, at the foundation in light blue, we start with end-to-end integrated business processes, acquire to decommission, order to cash, and supported by dedicated applications like asset performance management, enterprise asset management, mobility, and field service management. These applications are industry-specific, configurable, and continuously capturing mission critical data. Now, the next layer here in medium blue, it's about turning that data, and whether it's cost data, damage codes, failure modes, IoT, SCADA data, into a closed loop system and simplifying the IT/OT puzzle. This is where SAP is unique, meaning there's no silos, no isolated strategies, but decisions that are informed by enterprise-wide data and connected via that digital thread. So this means you can continuously improve your asset management programs backed by that reliable data foundation. On top of that, in darker blue, we embed AI directly into business processes on top of this harmonized data. This means things like predictive maintenance, intelligent insights, auto scheduling that optimizes your workforce. And here you can adopt AI scenarios that are easy to implement, configurable, and can immediately add business value. And at the peak, in purple, we reach agentic AI. So these are intelligent agents that can automate end-to-end tasks, coordinate across teams, and still work alongside humans. So not replacing them, but of course, giving these humans leverage. Now, the key point I want to make here is that innovation is not one size fits all. Whether you're focused on capturing data, closing the loop, embedding AI into the flow of work, or running autonomous operations with AI agents, SAP gives you the ability to innovate at your own pace with trusted data as the foundation. And today I'm very humbled and excited to show you what we've already achieved in AI in the area of asset management. But first, thinking about where AI can be deployed for asset management. And the answer is everywhere across the entirety of the asset lifecycle. So for years, we've been focusing on our best of breed inside a best of suite for asset lifecycle management at SAP. So having all this data connected from investment to commission, reliability engineering, asset health monitoring, operations and maintenance provides us with this digital thread and one that can take advantage of AI innovations. So this means that across all disciplines and functions of asset management can benefit from AI. Whether you're a maintenance planner, a master data specialist, a reliability engineer, scheduler, dispatcher, technician, or back office staff, AI will have a profound impact. And to illustrate some of these examples, here what you see in light blue are what is generally available. We also have planned agents in medium blue and additional planned AI use cases in purple across key domains such as FSM, APM, EAM, business networks, mobility, and industry supporting solutions. So all of these examples you see in light blue are generally available, meaning if you're an SAP customer of these solutions, you can already use these in production. And moving forward, we're laser focused on practical AI use cases which boost employee productivity, help reduce costs, and improve your asset management programs. Now, there's no better way to illustrate that than a couple practical examples and a couple demos. So let's start on the area of asset performance management. So looking at embedded IoT and asset performance management, we've been making constant progress with embedded IoT technology delivered in APM via Cumulocity, who's a leader in industrial IoT platforms based on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. So we've already enabled data streaming based on real-time data management. So this enabled asset health monitoring with plug-and-play connectivity. This was already delivered in 2505, so supporting device connectivity, device management, data visualization, data streaming analytics, aka real-time asset health monitoring. Moreover, in Q4, we plan to release additional capabilities with embedded IoT. So, for example, reboot the anomaly detection based on the sensor data and taking full advantage of embedded IoT. And a few more details on embedded IoT. There are really four main capabilities, and three of which are already in early adopter care for our customers. So meaning if you're an APM customer, this is something you could take advantage of through our early adopter care program. The first here is device connectivity and management, which allows you to simplify device connectivity with plug-and-play scenarios. So we already have the ability to do a batch upload, but now users can directly connect to devices and manage those. So with embedded IoT, we also have a proven ecosystem of certified partners and devices, meaning you can quickly procure sensors to implement and connect devices with such partners. And these vendors also support standardized IoT protocols. So this could be MQTT, IoT, REST, OPC UA to connect to the shop floor, SCADA data, so helping you enable IoT and asset health monitoring. The next is the digital twin manager. This is very important as we need to bring context from IoT data into APM. So meaning this capability can actually map devices, data points, tags to whatever is relevant for you in asset management. So from an SAP speak, meaning the technical objects, equipment, functional locations, indicators, enabling you to actually contextualize that sensor data. Next is the IoT cockpit, again, in early adopter care. Think of this like your dashboard. Here you can create your own dashboards and reports with pre-built widgets, looking at all the alerts, a map of your equipment, certain signals you want to look out for, tags or sensors, all of this in the same place within a unified view. Lastly is streaming analytics. So this is planned for Q4. With Cumulocity, we now have a very powerful way to help reliability engineers monitor asset health data. So the idea here is that you can use template-based smart rules to quickly set up monitoring. For example, signal loss, connectivity loss, monitoring asset health conditions, creating thresholds, workflows, or driving IoT commands back to a device. So with this, we're enabling reliability engineers to actually do this without the need to go to an IoT or an OT specialist. So let's look at a few more examples of AI in APM. And here is visual inspection, so one that's available now. We've partnered with Landing AI. So they provide their AI-based visual models to work hand in hand with APM to apply their insight within our APM rules framework, meaning the rules, notifications, alerts, and helping drive those closed loop processes. So think of this like an anomaly detection, but the anomaly detection does not care if this is coming from sensor data, measurement points, and now images, which is particularly useful in high volume remote inspections where visual anomalies or surface conditions are critical for assessing the asset health. So think surface level defects, cracks, rust, dents on pipes, towers, tanks, transformers, or identifying anomalies without prior baselines, which can detect unexpected changes such as vegetation encroachment, vandalism, or even hard to reach inspections where theoretically a drone could be inspecting turbines, power lines, tall infrastructure, and generally this is cheaper and safer than sensor deployment. In this example that you can see here on the screen, so just highlight that very quickly. You can see what we did with Swiss Federal Railways on their pantographs. So this is a sliding element, being the pantograph that's in contact with an overhead wire where the energy comes from. So previously they had monthly maintenance intervals to perform these planned maintenance tasks. And now they can use cameras and visual inspections integrated into SAP APM to measure the thickness where anomalies can be detected and actually send out technicians when they're required. So this helps lower inspection costs and boost decision accuracy. Lastly, visual inspection as a concept in general supports human-in-the-loop decisions, where visual context, of course, helps the judgment where raw sensor data could be ambiguous for some assets. So being a long-time product and solution guy myself, let's take a look at a quick demo and show you what this looks like directly in practice. So I'm going to start out here in SAP Asset Performance Management and show you a quick demo of visual inspection. So starting out here in my Fiori Launchpad, I have a notification saying that there's a probability of leakage. So I predefined a rule here with the appropriate thresholds on this, and notice that the threshold was reached, hence the notification was created, but we also get the context so we can see where and when the anomaly was detected. And unlike sensor data, this is coming from an image, and directly here on the indicator chart, we can also view the image and how this appeared in terms of that time series data here. So here we're viewing this water pump. It's telling me that there's a defect probability of 90%, and also keeping a human in the loop here so I can confirm or reject and continuously improve the quality and accuracy of this algorithm here. So really helping solve that IT OT puzzle and embedding image data directly into APM, just like we would with sensor data. So next, we just covered for reliability engineers. Now let's move to the maintenance planner and the maintenance planner agent. So this is in SAP S/4HANA, Cloud ERP Private, and the agent works alongside the planner. So it's continuously analyzing real-time data and can recommend schedule adjustments to keep reliability high and, of course, asset downtime low. In practice, it speeds up backlog creation, streamlines order handling, and can help planners quickly identify and act on critical issues. So what are the results? Well, up to a 40% boost in planner productivity, but perhaps most compelling, 57 manual steps are now executed automatically behind the scenes. So this is AI removing the repetitive work. Planners can focus on what matters most. And of course, this is ensuring safe and timely, reliable operations. Let's take a look. So we're going to start here directly within Cloud ERP Private using the SAP S/4HANA Asset Management functionality. However, in this case, we're interacting with Joule, and I'm going to ask it to create a maintenance event for a specific cooling tower in the month of June. So the maintenance planner agent grounds my requests, says, here's what it can create for me in terms of maintenance event. We see the technical object, start and end dates, what notifications and orders will be added, downtime, as well as estimated costs. It's also going to propose some actions. Do we want to check for proactive maintenance activities or check for tools, non-stock materials, or service that may have been used in a similar maintenance event? So we're going to do both of these. So first here, where it's going to show me what are the upcoming proactive maintenance activities. We can see that there's 12 maintenance plan calls. This would add an additional 89 hours of work and close to 9K or so in additional costs. And here's the critical resources that were used in previous maintenance events. So here's some actions Joule can recommend. So we can prepone these, create a purchase requisition, and also reschedule the event if needed. So in this case, we say, please execute the recommended steps, and it's going to go forward with changing these maintenance plan calls, as well as the purchase requisition that's created, and it's going to adjust the start and end dates here. So in summary, we just saw 5 sub-agents working together behind the scenes, from planning bucket creation, assigning orders and notifications, recommending maintenance plan calls for the technical objects. It recommended involve suppliers, tools, materials, and work centers. And finally, checking for available slots in production. And notice, deeply integrated with the financial aspects as well. All in all, executing over 57 manual steps. So this is just a lab preview. So something that we're planning on our roadmap here, and more to come on that shortly following the actual release of this functionality. Next, the dispatcher agent. So this is planned for Q4 of this year in 2025. It's also available in beta. If you're interested, please reach out. And the dispatcher agent is collaborating with dispatchers to optimize job assignments to technicians and crews. So this can provide up to a 50% increase in dispatcher productivity while also reducing dispatcher errors by 8%. So the agent, think of it like providing a cognitive offload. So the dispatcher can guide the agent, optimize schedules, which are based on that user-based criteria that are defined in policy, such as SLA compliance, emergency scenarios, so maybe it's a storm, bad weather scenario, or any company-specific policy that's being configured, while working hand in hand with the dispatcher to provide guidance and actions. So the result is really humans and agents working together to optimize assignments and schedules, helping keep assets running optimally, and of course, protecting critical infrastructure. So let's also take a look and show you a quick lab preview demo. So here, I'm starting on my dispatching board, and I'm going to open Joule, and I'm going to say I want to see all the orders for a certain customer with a certain priority. Of course, this could be internal or external work in this case. So it finds all those orders with the priority and based on the criteria defined. And I'm going to say I want to schedule all of these activities. It's also going to ask me, how do I want to schedule this? In this case, I'll say SLA compliance. Could be based, again, on different criteria. And here, it's going to ask me, when do you want to schedule this? So we just looked at what we want to schedule, how we want to schedule it, and when we want to schedule it. And we're letting the agent actually execute on that while myself, the dispatcher, is providing that guidance. Now, it's going to provide some insight into what it actually did. So keeping the human in the loop before actually committing this to the schedule. I'll say I want to dispatch this. So now releasing these jobs to the technicians. So as a quick summary, the dispatcher agent just grounded my request, found the relevant orders, simulated the scheduling based on the predefined policy and date specifications, then confirmed the schedule and released the work, all with the dispatcher providing that human oversight. So from here, technicians receive the work, follow-up workflows are triggered, maybe it's notifications or emails, and technicians can hit the ground running with optimized schedules. So with that in mind, let's take a look at AI for our field technicians as well. So better, faster maintenance and service has never been more important. So research shows that 74% of mobile workers report that their workloads have increased year over year, and 73 say that they maintain more equipment than they did a year ago. So this is where maintenance and technician-facing AI can make a big difference. So we've already released 2 scenarios. So the first one is equipment insights. So every technician has instant access to past issues, root causes, and proven fixes. So this doesn't just make their job easier, but quantifiably can move the needle in a big way. So even a 5% improvement in first-time fix rates means 50,000 extra work orders resolved on the first visit for every 1 million orders. And when you combine this with a diagnosis time cut by nearly 2/3, this is a massive impact. The next one here is AI-assisted job completion, but this is turning voice into structured data. So eliminating tedious data entry, which of course all technicians love, so they can focus on keeping assets reliable and safe. And of course, that matters because research shows that on average, technicians spend up to 30% of their day doing these administrative tasks. Lastly, in the bottom left corner, as a lab preview, so of course the other two here are generally available, we're working with our AI-assisted job briefing and work repair instructions using Joule, where technicians can receive step-by-step instructions. So not only reducing the time spent in each job, but also enhancing the accuracy of repairs and maintenance tasks. So let's take a look at a quick demo. Again, both of these use cases that I will show in the demo are generally available. So to set the stage here, let's imagine I am a maintenance technician and I'm going out and I'm working on a piece of equipment that perhaps I'm not overly familiar with. But now I can use AI to help surface insights into the past history of the equipment when selecting Generate Summary. So let's show how AI can help those technicians in executing their maintenance tasks. So we say Generate Summary, and we use these configurable AI insights here to identify what was the problem description, what was the root cause, and resolution steps. Shows information like what happened, who did it, when did they do it. So very quickly, I have context that can help me understand what the equipment issue was. Next here is on data entry. So when confirming sub-operations, operations, or work orders, I can now use voice to data. So I say in here exactly what I did, how much time I spent, did I have expenses, mileages, what happened to the notification, should we close it, any notes that we want to add here as well. And very quickly, just included that. So in summary, showed how we can help achieve more first-time fix rates, diagnose equipment issues faster using AI, but also come over with incorporating voice to data entry. So getting rid of a lot of that mundane and data entry that's often an administrative burden for our maintenance technicians. So moving forward, AI and operations. Where to start when introducing artificial intelligence? So I can share some things on what I've seen that's been useful for customers. The first, I think, is identifying a clear business impact. So what are high volume, repetitive, or time critical processes? An example here, think about what we just showed with voice to data. Technicians, again, based on research, show that they're doing 30% of their daily work using doing administrative tasks. So this is one way that this could come in and make a huge impact. As well, another one could be auto scheduling. So starting out with basic auto scheduling, showing optimization. Maybe it's in a certain plant, maybe it's for a certain region, testing it out there. And again, those high volume operations. Next, looking at quick wins with available data. So you want to look at where AI, of course, can have the greatest impact, and ideally choosing pilots with measurable outcomes. So maybe it's we've increased our first-time fix rates by 5% now that we're using equipment insights, or we've reduced data entry by 10%, or perhaps we're able to schedule 10% more jobs per week now that we're using auto scheduling. Lastly, change is hard, and change management is very important, especially in the era of AI. So I think it's very important to have that trust across the teams and thinking of the users that are using this from a neuroscience perspective, really what's in it for me. So I think, first of all, communicate transparently with the stakeholders, but then also think about this is why it's going to help you. So we think back to maybe a decade or so ago when we transitioned from paper to mobile. Of course, there was a lot of resistance. Over time, we've seen that a lot of technicians now greatly prefer this. And especially now that we have more millennials and Gen Z entering the workforce, they are very much used to using such technologies and even more in AI. So helping them understand, well, hey, this is going to help you execute your administrative tasks much quicker. Also, we understand that you're working with a variety of more equipment and maintaining this more equipment. Well, hey, this is how it's going to help you have more information when you get there and be better prepared when maintaining a piece of equipment. As well, looking at ways where the actual users can override AI suggestions and work hand in hand with AI for better results. So lastly, as a wrap up, I'd like to leave you with 3 takeaway points. And it's first that AI is embedded where you work. So it's not a bolt-on, but it's built directly into the SAP applications for asset management. From generative equipment summaries to visual inspections to maintenance order recommendations, Joule agents also take it further, so automating planning and dispatching. And these agents can also be extended in the Joule Studio for your own specific use cases. Secondly, reliable AI needs trusted data. So sounds cliche, but of course, AI and agentic AI is most powerful when it's based on harmonized governed data with business context. And that's where, SAP, as well as the SAP Business Data Cloud, can come in and make a big difference. So providing the reliable insights and next generation decision making when it comes to asset management. And then lastly, apps, data, and AI together. So really our secret sauce here. So the apps are generating the trusted data at the source. We have failure modes, we have notifications, cause codes. Business Data Cloud harmonizes and enriches that data. And then embedded AI and intelligent agents connect across functions. So we're weaving AI across the enterprise. So asset management and field service, for example, can tap into core areas across the SAP Business Suite like financials, procurement, projects, and inventory, unlocking enterprise-wide value and not deploying AI in isolated pockets. So that's the next generation of asset management and how SAP is continuing to help the world's assets run better and helping solve your toughest operational challenges. So I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to join. I'm here to monitor the chat, see if there's any questions, and also looking very much forward to continuing this journey together.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for these insights. Also, I'm really excited to see all these use cases that are already available now, how these use cases with AI can really help the world. And of course, the technicians working everywhere. So this is really looks like a great benefit that they can get out of it. I currently cannot see questions in the chat. I can only encourage our audience to think of the questions and probably bring them up in the chat now. And in the meanwhile, I saw in the presentation that you showed these AI generated summaries. And my question would be, are these summaries, can you configure them or are they already predefined and suggested to the user?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question, Larissa. So actually it's good that you asked that because one of the first pieces of feedback when we released this feature in 2405 was, hey, great, these equipment summaries and activity summaries are great, but they're only powerful and help us solve problems if they're relevant to the end user. So after that, what we did was we enhanced it with different configuration options. So meaning that companies can go in and they can include what exactly they would like included in the summary. So do you want things like the plant, the material, the actual job, the technician, all this kind of relevant master and transactional data that you want included in summaries. What do you want? Do you want a problem description? Do you want a root cause? Do you want resolution steps? So really, it comes down to it is, does this help me achieve a first-time fix rate? Does this help me with improving the asset uptime and getting the job done faster? So yes, we can configure these. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of value there, Larissa. So thank you for asking.
Thanks. Good to know. I still cannot see questions in the chat, so we will definitely include this PDF into the description to this video. And let me also announce the session that we have scheduled for tomorrow. At the same time, in live stream, we will be offering a session around AI in service management. So actually also very much connected to today's session. So I'm going to put a link in the chat immediately. So if you have a chance to bookmark this session for tomorrow, we will be very happy to welcome you there. And let me do this before we close the session. 1 second. Let me... all right, let me put... So... there are some questions coming in, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. And let me address them to Ryan first. How
Sure.
does SAP differentiate between embedded customer-trained AI and custom AI developments for specific use cases? And what benefits does this bring to customers?
Yeah, sure. So embedded AI, think of this like the pre-shipped AI scenarios that are included in the flow of work here, right? So some of the examples that we showed there, we can think about equipment insights. We could think about anomaly detection. We can think about just doing post-job activity summaries. So those are the embedded AI use cases that are included in the daily flow of work into the application level. So custom AI is its own scenario there. So SAP also provides you with tools, again, with the business technology platform and the AI tools to create custom AI scenarios, workflows, but as well as Joule scenarios using the Joule Studio and Joule Agent Builder. So those are scenarios that you would identify as custom workflows or custom scenarios where you think that AI can really help you. And then you can go and build those AI scenarios directly like you would for yourself. Think of this like doing an extension with ABAP in the past and building that out. Well, SAP is shipping, core transaction codes like an ME21 and so on. If you're going to maybe extend this a little bit further, it's kind of the same type of scenario here, but now you're just doing this with AI and the tools that SAP is providing.
All right, thank you for that. I hope this answered the question. And let me move to the next one. In what ways does AI scheduling improve service KPIs such as response time and SLA compliance?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it does both for sure, right? So if we think about a service scenario, you would have seen that in kind of intentionally there did use the example of SLA compliance. So you can, of course, predefine the rules and objectives of certain policies and make those relevant to SLAs and prioritizing certain customers, the service windows, priority jobs, and so on and so forth. But then this is taking all of this into consideration while matching the right technicians with the right skills and trying to minimize the travel distance there as well. So making sure that when you're scheduling jobs, that you're doing this in a way that's set up to achieve the goals of SLA compliance. As well, Larissa, could you refresh my memory of the second component of that question? I know there's SLA compliance, but
it says, in what ways does AI scheduling improve service KPIs such as response time and SLA compliance? Response time was the second.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, I mean, when you look at auto scheduling, for example, there as well, you can also define certain policies like, okay, I want to base a schedule or this assignment on who can get there the earliest. Or maybe I just want to base it on things like distance and skills, or maybe it's just distance. So the logic is hard coded in the system. And then the dispatcher, of course, can interact with the system to use that logic and make the assignment based on that. So all in all, the dispatcher is interacting with the system that's based on that logic, and it can be based on SLA compliance or again on response time.
All right. There is another question. What role will generative AI play in supporting service agents and technicians within SAP's ecosystem?
So it already is doing a lot. So I don't work as part of the CX line of business myself, but I am fairly familiar with what they're doing there. So they also do have a number of AI use cases from things like actually draft email templates, customer sentiment analysis, and so on and so forth directly there, as well as embedding, chatbots directly into interacting with folks that are calling in for customer service. So there is a number of tools there when it comes to the service agent experience, and then as well from the field service experience as well, from auto scheduling to providing insights to field service technicians. And this is actually something we're going to cover a lot more in detail tomorrow on the AI in service management section.
All right. Thank you for that. So this is definitely an invitation for tomorrow to those who have joined today, the same time, the same setup. So I just posted the link to tomorrow's session in the chat. So you can put a notification for tomorrow, and we will be very happy to welcome you tomorrow as well. So I hope all questions were answered. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our audience for being active and bringing up very good questions to answer. And of course, thanks Ryan for being our speaker, for bringing these insights, showing the demo and how AI works in real. And with this, I think we can close the session for today. Again, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.